Okay, you have 5 pairs of shoes, 6 pants, 8 shirts. How many different outfits can you make when you have to have one of each thing? So what I'm going to do is I have these 5 shoes and I have to choose one of the pairs of shoes to have on. And what do I write in place of the word and with math? Times. There's 6 pants and I have to choose one. And there's 8 shirts and I have to choose one. Okay, and yes, that does come out to 5 times 6 times 8. Okay, but just be careful, because what if this was a sandwich and you had 8 meats and you got to choose 2 meats to put on? Okay, so then that wouldn't be just 8. Okay, and yes, you have your calculator for the whole test that I will be giving you. Letter arrangement. So what you can do here is move all the letters around, which creates a factorial because you count the letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 letters. As in the first position, I have 11 choices and then 10 choices. Da 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 da. But my example for you was dad. If I move the first D and the last D around, yeah, that's a movement, but it looks the exact same, so I cancel it. So if I cancel in math, I make a divide. And what do we have? I have a lot of E's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 E's. And what else? 2 P's. Am I good? Is there anything else? Okay, I would say that this is where people go wrong, is just typing it into their calculator. So this is what I usually get students typing, which will come out incorrect. Okay, what's important? Bracket family, because you got to divide by the bottom, right? You got to make it together like that. You're going to choose a committee of 4 people from a possible group of 13. How many different committees can you make? So there's the 13 people. I need 4 of them. Which letter would I want to use with that? The C. Because I don't care about anything with order, right? So that is just a straight calculator type. So yes, I will put 2 of those questions, simple ones, on your test. You really just have to ask yourself, does the order matter or not matter? So skipping to number 5, there's 18 desks, 12 students. How many ways could you make a seating chart arrangement? So there's 18 desks, 12 children. What letter do I put here? This would be a P, because the order matters. It changes when you put somebody in a different seating spot. Okay, that's a different seating plan, right? I feel like this is really big. Yeah, it won't even really show on your calculator. I don't think a lot of your answers will ever be doing that. You guys understand that that's just how many decimal movements there are? Okay, so then what's the difference between a perm and a com, now that we look at those? So a permutation is arrangements. Arrangements where your order matters. versus a combination would be the groupings that you can do. And order would not matter then. Okay? So it's all about arrangements, order matters. Okay, so again, question 3 and question 5, there are 2 of those on your test. You're just thinking about yes or no, does my order matter? Factorial expressions. So remember that I said to always pick 2 factorials, pick the bigger of the 2. So there's only 2 factorials here. Which one's bigger? 81. So 81, 80, 79, and beyond. $79 and beyond. So that all gets canceled. Okay, by the way, if you just tried to straight type this into your calculator, I don't think it would even work. Right? Did anybody even try that? No. It doesn't work. Why? It's just information overload. 81 factorial, do you understand how massive that number is? It's pretty big. Okay, so same idea. Pick 2 factorials. So I'm going to be picking these 2. So 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, and beyond. Okay, and then this 4 factorial, I have to just deal with it separately. So I'm just going to go 4, 3, 2, 1. Because I had to pair 2 of them. So that can't really work in that 4 factorial to pair it with something now because they've already paired. Okay, we're good with this. That's gone. Okay, so I have to show you without my calculator what I would be doing here. So what I would do is I would chunk 4 and 3 together there because that makes 12. So can I do that? Is that okay with you? Then I would do a what here? I would go a 2 and a 10. So that makes 5. So you're left with that. I can do this without my calculator yet. What's 5 times 9? 45. You guys are supposed to know the 11 times trick. Do you remember it? Sum the middle. 45. 9. Huh? I thought I taught you that last year. When you times something by 11. Okay, quick. 17 times 11. 187. Just add in the middle. But like if you get something that is over, so this, so 7, 6, but what does it add to in the middle? 13. So 13 doesn't fit, so you have to do like that, which makes 737. There you go. Now you're that much smarter. Okay, binomial expansion question. If you want to find the 4th term, then your n is what? Your k is what? Your n is what? Your k is what? So what is the n? Do you remember what the n is going to represent? 11. N is your total exponent, and k is your choose number. K is your choose number. So if you are on the fourth term, we would like to choose 3. And how many terms end up being all together once it's expanded? 12. If your exponent is 11, you actually end up with 12. Why? Because we start counting at 0. 0 is the first term. Okay, pair 2 factorials. So there's what I'm doing. Which one of those is bigger? N plus 2 is bigger. So n plus 2. If I go lower, that's n plus 1. If I go lower, that's n. Okay, so I went until I matched. Then I just have this. It's not a factorial. It's just a single item. Okay, do we like it? I expanded till I matched. All right, so now I'm going to cancel the factorials. I'm going to cancel this single item. And I'm left with this times that. And what do you think the word simplify means? What should I do when I simplify it? I should do what? Yep, I'm going to get you. How do you when it started here? Might be coming off the floor again. Okay, so simplify means n squared plus 2n. Simplify means I'm going to expand that out. Okay, here's where I get people who highly go wrong. They see this, and then you know what they do? Some people, they are like, oh, equals 0. No, that's not a thing. You're not solving for anything. Throwing in an equals 0, well, that wasn't even a thing. You've turned an expression into an equation, and you're solving instead of simplifying. Solving and simplifying are not the same thing. They're opposite. Okay, be careful. What if this stuff was on the bottom? You're going to write 1 over, right? Okay, so if I expand that, if you expand this, do you understand how many terms you would have? 7. So this would be your Pascal triangle, because this is, what choose does this match up with then? No, this isn't the one. It'd be 6 choose 0, which is 1. And then 6 choose 1, which is 6. 6 choose 2. 15. 6 choose 3, which is 20. 6 choose 4 should be the same as what? Remember that? 6 choose 4 and a 6 choose 2 are the same thing. Why? Because 4 and 2 add to 6. So 6 choose 5 should also match 6 choose 1. So 6. and 6 choose 6 should match that one, right? 6 plus 0 is 6, 5 plus 1 is 6, 4 plus 2 is 6. Obviously that doesn't really have a partner, right? Then this was the next row, and then they say write the next row yet. What would come after this? So 1, 8, 28. 1, 8, 28. What's the next adder there? 56. I'm going to flip-flop that over here. 56 and 70 falls into the middle. Expand fully this binomial. Okay, so there is no coefficients in there, so it's just going to be all my regular coefficients. So I'm going to do a triangle. So these are the only coefficients I will see. Why? Because there's no other coefficients going on in this yet. So it will end up exactly that. So there's going to be 6 terms. Six terms. The first term has x5, then this would have an x4, an x3, an x2, an x, and then no x's. And then no y's, y, y squared, y cubed, y4. Make sure the exponents always add to 5 because there's no other exponents, so it's just going to be straightforward like that. And what do I need for pluses and minuses? Well, they would all just be plus because there's no negative signs. Okay, so if you forget how to just pattern that, please remember it all just comes with this formula 5 choose 0. When I do this term, when I do this term, this has to be there, this has to add. When I do this term, I'm now 5 choose 1. First item, second item. What do I have to do? Match the 1 up. Right? That's why the pattern is just like that. Because this goes 0, then this goes 1, and then it would go up, up, up. As that one goes up, this one goes down, right? Okay, please understand the negative signs as well, where they come from. Find the fourth term. Okay, so here's the formula. Something choose something. We have to write the 2x with that, the 3m cubed with that, and we need some numbers here. Okay, so n choose k. So the n is 7, because that's my total exponent. And I'm going to choose what if I'm on my fourth term. I'm going to choose 3, which now means if this is 3, then that is also 3. which means this exponent would have had to be a 4. Make sure this makes 7. Okay, so that's a calculator move. 7, choose 3, 35. Don't forget that you can't just leave this as a 2 because it has to get repeated 4 times. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. Then this one, don't forget 3 cubed. So 3 times 3 times 3 is 'kay, so this question, which term contains the x13? Only x's. I only want x's. So I'm not going to take anything coefficient. So the choose thing I don't have to do because that's a coefficient. So I'm going to just grab the x's from the first. And I'm going to grab the x's from the second item. The x's from the first item, the x's from the second item. And my goal is to end up with that. Do you guys remember this -3? Why? Because it was on the bottom, right? Which term? If I don't know the term I'm on, I don't know my choose number. So I don't know my choose number, which is up there. Which means I don't technically know this number, but I do know that the total has to be 12. So this would be 12 subtract that. Okay, so now math, exponent to an exponent, multiply. Okay, now we have to add the exponents, right? Because we multiply, so we add the exponents. So 48 minus 7k. Okay, please don't cross the x's off in that you're not canceling them. That's not what you're doing. You're just using a math property to say, well, therefore, this is going to have to equal this. So it's just a property that we're going to use in math. All right, if you get a negative value, if you get a decimal value, something went wrong. Okay? You can't be on like a partial term. There's no such thing as 1.5 terms. That doesn't work. Okay, k equals 5 is not your answer because the question is which term? 5 is your choose number. Therefore, we are on the 6th term. Okay, and then question B says figure out the first term. So here I go. Something, choose something, 3x4 in a bracket, negative 2x negative 3 in a bracket. First item, second item, we got to do some kind of choose thing in the front. Okay, so here we go. What choose what? 12. That's your exponent. Choose. So if I'm on the first term, I would like to choose 0. I'm lower. So therefore this is 0 and this is 12. Okay, so this value is 1. This value is 1 as well. Please make sure you're doing your negatives properly. If you have a negative value to an even, that makes positive. If you have a negative to an odd, negative. Question 4. 5 boys, 5 girls are trying to go into seats. They want to sit as couples. So these two, these two, these two, these two, and these two. So how many different groups or things am I moving around? 5. Then what could this couple do within themselves? Switch around. So could these. So could these. So can I do that? How many groups? What's happening within the groups? Okay, this time they want to alternate. So I have my 10 positions. So how many options would I have to put somebody down into the first spot? I could put anybody I wanted there. 10. Okay, so now you have to pretend like you put somebody there. So just make something up, like I put a boy there. So now when I go to the second chair, this would then have to be a girl. So then that would be 5. So then this would put me back to a boy, which means there's 4 boys left, 4 girls left, 3 boys, 3 girls, 2, 2, 1, 1. Okay, you can straight multiply that. Or you could understand the 5 boys were moving around, the 5 girls were moving around, and I'm doubling it because there was 2 options. I could have started this all out with a boy, or I could have started it all out with a girl. So that is hence why the 10 is there, because it's timesing one of the 5s. 6 boys and girls are trying to sit so there's my 12 people. Will and Kate want to sit beside each other. So there's that. So when I move things around, how many things am I moving around now? 11 things, because they're treated like one thing now. But what could they do just amongst themselves? They could flip-flop. Okay, how do we do this question if they don't want to sit beside each other? What's the good strategy to do?
Take the total without all the rules and subtract
Yeah, the total minus the opposite event. So if I take all my arrangements and subtract if they sit beside each other, that should leave me with the arrangements of them not sitting beside each other. Does that make sense? If you forget this strategy, I would say you're kind of just hooped. You can't really figure this out by just playing around with numbers. Okay, so all scenario would just be the whole 12 factorial movements minus the opposite. We just did that, right? Okay, question 6 is a committee thing. So you want a committee of 4 girls, 2 boys, and you have 12 girls and 9 boys to be picking from. So 4 girls, I need to choose 4 girls from my selection of 12. And I also, so that means I'm going to times. I also need to choose to put 2 boys on here from the 9 options. Okay, so committees with Andrew, Jesslyn. So I'm going to draw out all these scenarios and then we're going to pick which ones we want. So there could, this is one option. Andrew's on, Jesslyn's on, or Andrew is on, Jesslyn not, or Andrew off, Jesslyn off, or no. I wanted to do that the other way. But I don't need these all, but I'm just showing you. Like, these are all scenarios that could play out. They could both be on, just Andrew on, just Jesslyn on, or not. So the question says, how many committees are possible if Andrew or Jesslyn need to be on, but not both of them? So we can't do that. We can't put them both on. And one of them has to be on, so we can't do that one either. So we are left with 2 scenarios. So the first scenario is where Andrew's on, but Jesslyn is off, and then vice versa. Okay, so here we go. If Andrew is on, technically you don't have to write this, but Andrew, choose Andrew. Okay, let's talk about boys. I needed 2 boys. So I've already put Andrew on there, so that is one of my boys. So I'm going to choose one more boy out of 8 options now. There's not 9 anymore. And I still need to choose 4 girls on this committee yet. How many options of choices? 11. Because remember now, this would be that Jesslyn is not allowed on. Okay, or we could have just done a different scenario. So what should I do? Math, add this other scenario. So the other scenario was Jesslyn being on. So Jesslyn, choose Jesslyn. Okay, that's 1 girl. So I still need to choose 3 girls now out of just 11 instead of 12. And I need 2 boys on there, picking from 8. Hey, Rose.
Good morning. Hold on, I'm recording. Sorry.
Are we good? We got a total here. Was it 7260? Okay, couple more. Solving an equation. Okay, so on this you will have a formula sheets thing. Okay, I would give you that, so don't have it memorized. This would be a provided formula page. So n factorial over 2 factorial and the subtraction factorial. Okay, so same thing. I picked 2 factorials to pair up. So I'm going to be looking at this and this as a pair, and I expand which one's bigger until I stop. So n minus 1, n minus 2, and beyond. Matching the n minus 2 and beyond. I can actually just evaluate 2 factorial. What's 2 times 1? FYI, sometimes I get this. This is an error. Do you see that? That's an error. They put their factorial on the wrong thing. So don't do that. That's a very easy thing to do, right? So just be careful. Small things. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Cancel, cancel. Are you guys okay if I multiply by 2? Is that okay? Multiply by 2 was that idea. Okay. What should you do when you have a quadratic equation with multiple variables? Now you should have it equals 0. Factor with simple. You should still have it equals 0, or I'd have to take off there. 8 times 7 is 56. Okay. What should I do with this answer, though? I should eliminate that because you cannot have -7 objects and choose 2 of them. That doesn't even work, right? Okay, so this one was an equation. Please do not mix that up with something like this, which is just expressions. Understand the difference between which one's an equation and which one is an expression. Okay, so this is also an equation, so you will have a something equals something by the end. So I'm going to find 2 factorials to work with. Expand the bigger one. So n is bigger than n minus 3, so I start with that. n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3, and beyond. So pair 2 factorials, expand the bigger one until you can stop your factorials and get rid of them. Okay, I'm also going to swipe an n minus 1 out of both sides. Cancel, cancel, divide both by that. Zero it out because you have 2 variables. Okay, and then you just have to check your answers to see if they work. Negatives don't automatically mean a rejection here. It's when you plug them in. So 8 might not even work, but we have to try. 8 minus 3 is 5 factorial. That's still good. -6 plugged in would be, make this a -9 factorial. Not good. Factorials stop at 1. Okay, what do we got? 3 more questions and then we're done. Brennan, Will, Delicia want to sit beside each other. Three people are trying to make sure they're chunked together in their seats. So I'm going to do a how many groups am I moving? What's happening within the group method. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all of them is the 8th group. But then they can move amongst themselves. Okay, and on this question, the girls have to sit on the 2 seats at the ends. So I have to have a girl there and a girl there. So I'm going to go like this. How many girls do I have to pick from for this seat? 5. And now I would have 4 choices. Then, when you start putting the other people down, it has no clue about boys and girls. Nothing like that matters. It's just people now. So how many people do I have left to pick from? So I have 2 spots taken. So now I should have 8 people. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is what I would type in my calculator. I would make that an 8 factorial, right? Okay, so then this one was just a kind of backwards binomial question type. Find the value of n if the 7th term is that. Okay, so I'm going to show you if I started with the formula that I wouldn't have enough info. So if I try to use the formula, I'm going to show you that I don't have enough info because n choose, well, the 7th term would be a 6, 3x4, 2x negative 3, this would be a 6, and this would be an n minus 6. Do you see that I don't have enough info to actually do the whole formula, right? Because I don't know this, I'm not going to know this part. So, what do you think I should do instead of trying to do the whole formula? Just x stuff. So let's see what we can do here. Just x stuff, want to get just that x stuff. Okay, I did know that that would be a 6. I did know that because of the 7th term. And this is going to be n minus 6. Therefore, this exponent would be 12. Okay? And the last one of the day. All right, so I'm going to try with the whole formula to see if we have enough of the info. So we have a 9 choose, because that's the 9 up there. Oh, the 7th term, so we also have choose number 6. We got both of them. First item, second item. 6 up top, subtract 3 up top. And the whole goal was to get it to be this. Okay, so start your evaluating here. So 9 choose 6, 84. All right, well this number on this would be a b cubed, but I don't know that. So I'm going to leave it b cubed with an x 15. Two to the 6th. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 64. Okay, so let's put this together. 84, 64. (84, 64) with the b cubed. I just keep it there. X15 and x negative 12 would get you to an x3. Okay, we can officially divide by x3. X cubed, gone. Can you divide by 5376? And then you should be able to solve this with mental math. What times what times what gets you to negative 27? Negative 3. Okay? Do you know how to do this on your calculator if you ever wanted to just do that? Do you know how to do those buttons? My button would go like this. I need to do the 3 root. I need to type that in first with my button called the any root button. So this is my any root button. So I had to push 3 first.